Hi, this is part 2, and I really hope that you have looked at part 1. I was basically speaking about my situation, and this is a plea for help in any fashion, form, or way that I might escape literally murder by suicide, because I am being made to live in so much despair that every single day that I wake up, I am like, why under heaven is this even my life? I do not want to lean on nothing but the rapture to get me out of the situation. We have been speaking about the return of the Lord for a very long amount of time, and while I am into eschatology and end of days, and I am a student in that regard, and I do believe the Lord is coming soon, I don't know when exactly that day is, and if it's in another 2 or 3 years, I am essentially in trouble of suicide. And I've been saying this for a minute in my ministry, and nobody is paying attention to me. I am a travesty, and I am targeted for murder by complete strangers, and my very unsophisticated family members who have got a spirituality that condemns, they're into satanic worship, ancestral worship, and all that jazz, have been made cold and bereft of any sensitivity towards my case, to a point where I cannot lean on their compassion for me, empathy, understanding, to essentially wrench me out of this darkness. I have been written off as a madwoman, and so for those reasons, apparently, allegedly, it makes it okay to be mistreated. Listen up. There is a celebrity in the United States by the name of Britney Spears. I am using her example because it is the best one you can understand if at all you have been checking out any media covering her story. We all know that Britney Spears just disappeared off the scene, and then it became evident to us later on that there is a conservatorship over her life, where her dad, her family members basically have frozen all of her assets, held them hostage, made sure that if at all Britney wants anything, she has to beg for it. They've taken away her children, and this is all based on some meltdown that she had some time ago, and a court irresponsibly agreed to make a grown woman live like a child under some irresponsible steward, lack thereof, of a man that gave his semen to contribute to her existence on the earth. And because it is her dad, it was apparently okay now, given that Britney Spears had a public meltdown, to treat a big fat woman like she's a child. She to this day is still held hostage. I don't know if they've ever flipped over that conservatorship, but in the dance industry, you guys know I come from a dark time where, because of my suffering, I ended up sort of kind of subscribing to licentious dancers like Jojo Gomez and Aaliyah Janelle. I basically copied their dance moves, and I danced like that in order to build my body, and it worked to build my body, but it was not pleasing to God. The music was licentious, it was sensual, everything about it was not godly, and I am doing everything in my power to repent and clean up my exercise, right? But during the time when I was busy watching videos of females like Jojo and Aaliyah, there was this movement within the dance industry, right, in the United States in particular, by these choreographers and their classes, I guess, that they run, the individuals that are in these classes, to free Britney. And I was wondering, what in the world are they talking about? Free Britney, what's wrong with Britney? And that's what made me try and find out what's going on with Britney Spears, because I'm not on top of celebrity affairs. I'm a Christian. I'm mostly on top of Christian events. So when they kept on hooking up these signs, these placards in their dance studios, and also dedicating entire choreographies to freeing Britney, I wanted to see what's going on with Britney Spears. Is she in prison? What's going on? Is she kidnapped? What's happening? And ultimately, after researching sufficiently enough on the internet, I found out about this conservatorship. Well, my life is similar to that of Britney Spears, except I did not have a public meltdown. I did something so basic as get born again, and then speak about my faith, and then profess the love of God to a dead generation of people. I then also shared what it is that the Lord has shown me through dreams and visions as to the disturbing nature of involvement in the occult by my family members, not so much to bring out their dirty laundry that they might be embarrassed, but so that they can see that the Lord has seen what they do, but that He has compassion on them, and to get them to turn. Essentially, I was hoping for the outcome of that lady at the well who, upon speaking to Christ, ran back to her town, joyful, saying, I have met a man who has seen everything about my life, who has told me everything I've ever done. I was hoping for that outcome when the prophecies that the Lord gave me about these people and what it is that they're involved in, when I was sharing them privately with them, to let them know that God has shown me that you're involved in such a thing, but no, Christ has the life that you are in dire need of, because currently you're walking in dead deeds. That's what I did. However, they did not receive it very well. They were an obstinate generation, and I was casting my pearls to the pigs and giving what is sacred to dogs, to canine. Do you understand? And what they did, rather, as opposed to say, I have met a man who has shown me everything I've ever done about my life, and then gone to give the gospel because they were gloriously glad that the Lord is now helping them conquer the generational curses of the past, they rather persecuted me and basically imprisoned me. To them, it was like finding out about their involvement in the occult was an embarrassment, and so because they were embarrassed, they imagine that if they can clump together in their numbers and agree that I am crazy, then that's what needs to happen. Long story short, I've been through a lot. I will not speak about it, cramping it in this particular expose or this video that I'm doing in order to ask for help, any kind of help at all, for people to help me get out of this. Like I need to survive literally an impending suicide on my life. There is murder that is attacking me and I am fighting it, but the murder would unfortunately not even look like murder if at all it happened, because it would just look like I eventually capitulated to suicide. And I am trying to save my life in coming here to speak about this, that I might gain the sufficient followership or the sufficient support that I need in order to give myself independence. I would never ask for money, and quite frankly, I don't want money. I also do not want anybody to contact me because I've got PTSD. I do not trust people. I don't know what kind of a random person was sliding to my DMs, because recently one just did and then hurt me. I'm just asking people to help me get to a point where I can monetize my YouTube channel. I'm asking for support to be enabled to get to a point where I can be independent again. I do not subscribe to these Christians all over the show that have got PayPal links and cash apps and donate here, there. I don't like it, that movement in the slightest, for the Lord has made it clear that the gospel is not to be used as a means of financial gain. So therefore, I don't want to do that. I just want help to get my numbers somewhere. So I'm literally petitioning for you to like, share, subscribe my work, that I might grow. In other words, reward me with an appropriate response to the work that I'm doing. If at all it is edifying to you, do not merely follow me because you feel sorry for me, but because you actually feel edified by me, that we might encourage one another as a community and grow. Do you understand? I am sharing my witness, my testimony as a Christian, and I never would have gotten to this point where I'm asking for this kind of help if at all I had some kind of other avenue of making money. If anything, I quite agree with the mindset of Joe Kirby. If you know Joe Kirby, he is this giant YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers, and his channel is not monetized. When I first started my WordPress account, which is a link likely somewhere down here below, I knew that there are people out here that monetize their blogs, that get ad revenue for their blogs. But I witnessed on one particular Christian woman's blog that was monetized and had AdSense revenue, some pornographic thing being recommended on her page, and it was just there as a banner and it was not moving. Unlike the YouTube ads that you can skip past or click away from, this one was just sitting there as an advert. I've also noticed in other Christian people covering like websites that they are quoting from, it gets very uncomfortable when they put this person's web page where they have written an article about the end of days or whatever, and on the side, on the panel, there is a very sensual, highly attractive, worldly, carnal woman, and all you can do is just gaze your eyes upon this advert instead of the thing that has been written. So that's my challenge with monetizing. You cannot dictate what ads are on there. Joe Kirby recently did something of this nature, a video of this nature, speaking about why he is not monetized, and that's how I always thought. So ever since seeing those banners, those licentious adverts on Christian content, I decided myself that I am never, even if I get massive traffic on my WordPress written blog, I will never ever monetize, because I don't want licentious adverts on my very holy, pure Christian content. That was my decision with my WordPress account. So therefore, when I started a YouTube channel, automatically the same mindset applied. Now, back when I was starting my YouTube channel, it was during a time, it was in 2014. Let me move on to part 3 because I have to do 10 minutes because I'm putting this stuff on TikTok too.